Oh, hey there. Happy day 1256 of What's Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from brick and mortar, corporate world of businesses to the online world of business. And in 2021, I keep mentioning that I'm doing back and forth, doing both. In the offline world, I was encouraging people, especially over the last couple of years since I've gotten online myself, I've always been encouraging business owners and friends and associates to at least make sure they have an online component. Maybe they're not going to move their whole business to the online world, depending on what type of business they have, but at least to have a social media presence, an online component, a website or a presence, a place where people could and can find and reach them. And nowhere has, or no time has proven more important for that to be true than in 2020. So millions of people who had never gone online before, had never done anything on the internet, as their businesses were shut down for COVID-19 and as things were stalled and lights were changed and jobs were lost, millions of people migrated to the online world. Work at home, online communication, non-in-person, what do you call it, indirect way, remote work, remote way of performing their task, performing their job, doing different types of work. And I would say it's been kind of a revolution, and it's been a mass migration to remote work, online, and the internet. And it will continue to do nothing but grow from here on out. It was growing by leaps and bounds already, but now it's solidified the validity of internet work, remote work. And a lot of people will never go back. A lot of people are fighting to never go back. I think I heard that Amazon or one of the big companies is, maybe it's Apple, probably Apple. It's one of those A companies, I believe, that I heard through the grapevine and saw a couple of posts about. Their workers are pushing back and saying, no, we don't want to go back to work. We want to continue to work from home. And of course, there's advantages to working from home. There's disadvantages. There's advantages to the employers to let people to work remotely and work from home, and there's disadvantages as well. And over the next several years, I'm sure we'll see a balancing out and a figuring out and a problem-solving approach to both sides of that coin. But I do think that more flexible work situations, more understanding, more flexibility around how and when and where people work is a good thing to the organization. It's more equally represents how we want to live our lives, how we need to live our lives in order to create the lives we want and live the way that we want to live. So, what am I working on right now? Super duper tired today. I'm not going to lie, I was up to about, I think, 3 or so with my granddaughter. She was not feeling good. She's teething, and so she was struggling. So I was up late, and sometimes that makes me really foggy in the morning. I'm drinking my coffee, got my Shine Always coffee mug to wake me up. So I like to point the message to me so I actually see the message and remember the message, even if I'm making a recording. So I'll be drinking some caffeine today and hanging out with my 6-year-old granddaughter. But I've already done our annual challenge to do one thing every day that centers you from this little journal book. And today was about looking for and seeing the beauty. You know, blessed are we who see the beauty, or those who see the beauty in their surroundings or in humble places, was the saying. And so we're looking for beauty around us and noticing it and actually appreciating it, you know, taking it in. So often, you know, the saying, don't forget to smell the roses. Well, how often do we walk by something beautiful and not even see it or acknowledge it? How often are we driving to work on a beautiful day and we don't even notice the beautiful day because we're so preoccupied with thinking through and planning what our day is going to be like? So it's just an invitation to center ourselves by noticing the beauty that's always around us and already been around us. So that was a fun one, I think. I like the ones that remind us to stop and smell the roses, which I think the one yesterday was that. Yep, stop and smell the roses. Funny. So that was our annual challenge. I like to pick an annual challenge. This is my 4th year now in a row, and I've done more annual challenges than that. But it was my 4th year in a row doing it online and sharing it with other people, not just doing it myself. I'm like, it's cool that I do it myself, but it's even more fun to share it with other people and realize that even if you pop in the last week of the year, you still get 7 days of focusing on something specific to enhance and improve your life or create something you want in your life that you wouldn't have done otherwise. At least most people wouldn't have done otherwise. I'm one of those weird, strange freaks of nature, according to my sisters, who is always doing a challenge. They said, you know, they tell me all the time. My youngest sister was harassing me the other day, literally, about, you're always doing some challenge and you can't do anything unless you turn it into a challenge. And I said, well, sometimes yes, sometimes no. I like to do challenges because it allows me to make a commitment to myself and then every day do something to move me toward the goal, the thing that I've committed myself to doing. It's a good way to try out different things for a short period of time. At least it's a good way for me to do that. Our idiom for today for Supersize Your Business, I like to share an idiom every day for Supersize Your Business, and I realized this year that I've started to pick ideas and topics and structures and themes for it. Yesterday, for example, I was tired after having a sleepover with my granddaughters and my granddaughter and one of my granddaughters and my niece and nephew, my great niece and nephew. And so I just shared 23 tired idioms about being tired, which reminded me that beginning of this year, I did, I think, 100 business-related idioms. And so for the rest of this month, for the rest of July, yesterday I decided, okay, I'm going to do, and I just was thinking of business, small business topics that are important to business owners and entrepreneurs. And I said, okay, let's just do leadership. So I looked up, well, what are some leadership idioms? And I got enough and then some to finish out the month of July. So every day I'm sharing a leadership idiom. And today was too many chiefs, not enough Indians. And I picked that one to start with because it's one that I have links to from my childhood. And it's one of the first leadership idioms I remember hearing and remembering and thinking, well, that's interesting, from my dad when we were little girls growing up. Probably because he was the only man in a big household of women, my mom and all of us girls, and then all of our friends. And so I think a lot of times he felt outnumbered. I don't think he minded one bit, but I do think he felt outnumbered, and he liked to use that expression, especially when it came to divvying up the chores and us girls arguing about not wanting to do our chores or not wanting to pitch in and help. And we would hear, well, that's you, there's only one chief and that's me, and there's, you know, we got to have more Indians to actually do the work, things like that. So it was fun. So I picked that one, and of course it means too many bosses or too many people that want to be in control of things and not enough people that actually want to go out and implement the thing that everybody wants to be in charge of. We see it in every industry. We see it in every type of organization. We see it in all different levels of organizations. People love to be in charge, the boss or manager. I mean, even my granddaughter at 4, she was always bossing everybody. Heck, at 3 or 2, she was always bossing everybody around with games. She always wanted to be the boss and the rule maker of the games that we played, and then everybody else was supposed to just be the Indians. And of course that doesn't fly, especially in a group of other kids. Everybody wants to, you know, sometimes be in control, or in control if they're part of a project. So I remember wondering, how is a kindergarten teacher going to manage like 30 of these little kids, especially when she was 5. I hung out with her last year during COVID. It's like, how on earth does a teacher manage 30 children that all want to be the winners all the time? It's got to be interesting. So that was our idiom today, and for the rest of this month we'll do an idiom about leadership. Some of them they tend to be really redundant. I mean, and so I think I'm going to look for more. I would love some suggestions on leadership idioms that you like. Remember, not just sayings. And actually, too many chiefs, not enough Indians isn't only an idiom, it's actually a proverb. Thus, even though it speaks about Native Americans and Native American organizations, it's apparently not racist or considered offensive, at least not to the Native Americans that were asked about the topic or interviewed about it. I'm sure I'll hear from some people that say, how on earth could you possibly use that expression in this day and age, since supposedly we're all racist these days. Although we're not in America or in many places, so just because someone says it doesn't mean it's true. Just because the media says it definitely doesn't mean it's true. So those are the two big pieces of content, plus this, sharing and documenting my journey as I make the transition and back and forth, and just, you know, being open and upfront with what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, why I do some of the things I do, why and how I've messed up a lot of the things I've tried to do online. I think a lot of what we have to figure out is who we are and what we want to be, who we want to serve, how we want to do that, how we want to uniquely show up in the world. And that's usually a trial and error for the vast majority of us that do anything, whether it's offline or online. I don't know very many people that the first time they ever tried anything, they were automatically the best in the world or an expert at it. I'm sure there's a couple that would claim that, but I think it's more you choose a goal, you choose an objective, you decide what you want to do, and then it's a series of steps and practices to achieve that goal. It's a series of things that we need to do and who we need to become in order to get that achievement, do that thing, change the world, whatever it is you want to do. All right, that's what I'm working on. I'm going to pop off and get some work done before my granddaughter comes. Have an absolutely amazing day. If I can help you in any way, ask in the comments below. Otherwise, look for leadership idioms. Look for doing one thing every day that can center you. And then in August, we are going to redo and ramp up the free 30-plus day Get Up and Go challenge. Did it all through 2020. This will be the 8th time through. Haven't done it since April because I've been traveling and it's summer vacation and all kinds of craziness around my life and probably most people's lives as well. Go out, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.